explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't.
This leads me to the story of the Crown Act, why it exists and why it matters. Imagine waking up in the morning, getting dressed for school or work, and realizing that something as natural as the hair growing out of your head could cost you a job, a promotion, or even a place in school. This isn't a scene from a movie. For many black people in America, this was and still can be a reality. And that reality is what led to the Crown Act. First, we've got to go back, way back. For centuries, black hair hasn't just been hair. It's been a symbol of culture, identity, resistance, and pride. From African kingdoms where elaborate hairstyles represented tribe, age, and status, to the painful era of enslavement where hair shaving was used to strip people of identity and dignity. Black hair has always held meaning. Fast forward to the 20th century, as black Americans moved through schools and workplaces, Eurocentric beauty standards, straight hair, tamed hair, professional hair became the unspoken rules. Natural hair was labeled unkempt, unprofessional, distracting, not a good fit for the workplace culture. Braids, locks, twists, afros, styles deeply rooted in black history were criticized not because they were messy, but because they were black. This constant policing of natural hair became a quiet form of discrimination, a discrimination that was rarely talked about, but deeply felt. By the 2010s, social media began to expose stories that used to stay hidden. Here are a few examples just in case you have forgotten. A high school wrestler in New Jersey was forced to cut off his locks or forfeit a match. A little girl in Louisiana was sent home from school because her braids violated the dress code. A black woman in Alabama was told she couldn't be hired unless she cut her braids. Countless employees were told their natural hair was unprofessional, even when the style was neat. These weren't isolated incidents. They were happening everywhere, to all ages, children, adults, professionals, students. The questions I began asking: why is black natural hair a problem? Why do we have to change our identity to be accepted? Those questions became the spark. Then, in 2019, a group of women, lawmakers, advocates, and organizations like the Crown Coalition decided enough was enough. They created something powerful, Crown Act, which stands for creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. The purpose was simple but groundbreaking. Make it illegal to discriminate against someone because of their natural hair or protective styles. That includes locks, braids, twists, bantu knots, afros, cornrows, and any hair texture or style tied to racial identity. The first state to pass the Crown Act was California on the 3rd of July 2019. After that, the movement spread like wildfire. Some people that don't look like me asked, is this really needed? The answer is a loud, undeniable yes. And here's why. 1. Hair discrimination is a form of racial discrimination. When you tell someone their natural hair is unprofessional, you're really telling them that their culture, their identity, their blackness isn't acceptable. 2. Existing laws didn't protect natural hair. Before the Crown Act, race-based discrimination laws didn't always cover hairstyles. Employers could fire or reject someone simply because their hair was textured or curly. And 3, it protects children in schools. Black kids were being punished, sent home, or even suspended for wearing braids or afro styles that protect their hair and reflect their heritage. 4, it opens doors for fairness in the workplace. Talented people were losing job opportunities, not because they weren't qualified, but because their hair didn't fit a Eurocentric standard. although mainstream media tells a different story. 5. It promotes cultural respect and mental well-being. For many, natural hair is tied to self-esteem, history, and identity. The Crown Act helps remove the pressure to chemically straighten, hide, or damage natural hair just to be accepted. Since 2019, the Crown Act has expanded across the U.S. Dozens of states have passed it, and many others have bills in progress. Major companies, schools, and organizations have adopted policies inspired by the act. This movement is bigger than a law. It's a cultural shift. It tells Black people, especially children, that their natural hair is beautiful, valuable, and worthy of respect. It says, you don't have to shrink your identity to fit someone else's standard. You don't have to apologize for hair that grows toward the sun. I want y'all to know that the Crown Act wasn't just created to change policies. It was created to change hearts. It's a declaration that natural hair is not an inconvenience, not a distraction, and definitely not unprofessional. It is heritage, it is pride, it is power. And as more people learn our story and what we go through every day, the message grows louder. Respect the crown, protect the crown, and let every person wear their identity freely. Although we have the Crown Act, there's still an uphill battle in today's society.